Hey guys, I want to talk about OxMaki's proposal in regards to selling sushi tokens from the treasury. This is my first crypto video. I never thought I would make a video talking about crypto, but after seeing this proposal and how ridiculous it is, I felt that I had an obligation to speak up and say what I think the average sushi token holder is thinking. So for the people that haven't seen the proposal yet, basically OxMaki wants to sell approximately 12.5 million sushi tokens from the treasury for a 20 to 30% discount to VCs. I mean, the audacity of this proposal is mind-boggling. I don't know if you guys remember, but it was just like a few months back when sushi was listed on Coinbase. It was around like $18.50. At that time, ETH was below 2K, and then ETH went from 2K to 4K, and all the DeFi coins were pumping besides Sushi. Sushi was only one of the only tokens that went down in price. And then we all know that in May we had that crypto crash, and Sushi got decimated. We went from an all-time high of $23 all the way down to like $10. But I wasn't too worried because Sushi was still generating a lot of fees, and it looks like the Sushi team has been doing some really good work. It's hard to keep up with all the new developments of the protocol, and it's extremely exciting seeing the new additions such as Kashi, Bento Box, and now they're talking about adding an NFT marketplace. So it appears that the days of people just calling Sushi a fork of Uniswap are over. Sushi's looking like it's going to be a one-stop shop for DeFi. I mean, that's how I'm looking at it so far. And I think the coolest thing about Sushi compared to other projects is that Sushi token holders get dividends for the fees generated from the protocol. This gives the community a greater incentive to make the protocol as successful as possible because their dividend payments is dependent on how much volume is being traded on the protocol. One of the other things about Sushi that I find extremely attractive is how, till this point, the entire community has been treated the same. And by that I mean no institution or individual has been able to buy Sushi at a discounted price. But now it looks like that's going to change, which I think will be extremely detrimental to the Sushi brand. Right now, everything seems like it's going great besides the price, which is the reason why I've been holding just the X Sushi alone with the fees Sushi generates has the other projects beat. Then on top of that, Sushi's doing so much more. It seems there's a general consensus in the Sushi community that the current price of Sushi right now is ridiculously low. The Sushi token holder has basically taken the worst beating out of all the major DeFi crypto projects. So when I hear OxMaki say stuff like Sushi's a blue chip DeFi and Sushi's eating people's lunches, but I look at the chart and compare it to all the other major cryptocurrencies and see that Sushi's taking the worst beating out of all the other cryptos, then I start scratching my head because we can't be talking like that when the price doesn't reflect it. We all believe that Sushi can be one of the best protocols in the crypto space. That's why we're here. But we have to be somewhat sensitive to the price. It's great that the protocol and the ecosystem is expanding with avenues to generate fees. But when the price of a sushi token is as low as it is, it's natural for the community to be downbeat. During this beating that we've been taking, the only thing that has kept people, in my opinion, invested in the project is Sushi's innovation and not being a sellout. Now, OxMaki proposes selling a garage sale price sushi token for an additional 20 to 30% discount to VCs. I mean, come on, man. Not only does that not ruin the sushi brand, but it also shows that OxMaki maybe doesn't believe in the project. I mean, before this proposal, I would never fathom selling my sushi for a lousy $5 with the market cap being less than $1 billion. But the fact that OxMaki is okay with selling sushi for a price lower than that, that's extremely scary. If this proposal goes through, that means sushi tokens could be sold from the treasury to the VCs for a price as low as $3.95. If that happens, the whole talk of sushi being a community-driven project, you can throw that BS in the garbage can. This is my take. If VCs want to be sushi token holders, they can buy it for the market price at an exchange like the rest of us. I don't care one bit about any vesting schedules. I do not want to see sushi tokens being sold at a discount, especially when the sushi tokens right now is so undervalued. The irony of this proposal is baffling. I thought we were trying to go against the grain of the traditional finance world. Sushi literally did something most projects were unable to do. They avoided giving away tokens to VCs for dirt cheap prices that no one else could buy them for. And now, after everything Sushi has done and gone through, how you want to sell them for dirt cheap, discounted prices? It's absurd. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe these VCs are going to add a ton of strategic value, and it's well worth for sushi token holders just to give 12.5 million sushi tokens from the treasury to them so that we can obtain all this value. So I watched Sushi Forum episode 38 where they had these VCs from Pantera on, and I listened to them with an open mind to see what strategic value they're going to be adding for the sushi token holders. I kid you not, what I'm about to say is a solid summary of what these guys said. So first, they had a lady named Amy to discuss the strategic value. I'll put that in quotation marks. That Pantera was going to add. First, she talked about how she talks to the Arbitrum team and how she helps them with hiring / HR stuff. And then she said that if you want to know Pantera's strategic value, just ask the Arbitrum team. But like, you're on the forum, how about you just tell us? But then she did elaborate. I'll give her credit. She said that Pantera is really good with social networks. Okay. And that she spends most of her time with portfolio companies adding value. How? Only God knows. But don't worry, adding value, it's in their core DNA. And that's the approach they're going to be taking to Sushiswap. Also, she said that they're going to increase the sushi brand. VCs are going to increase the sushi brand. The brand till this point was how we're anti-VCs. We got to where we're at without VCs. So in reality, you're actually destroying the brand. And then some dude on the sushi team said, wow, it's really cool. Now that I'm thinking about it, this is an all-time first that a VC is pitching to Sushi. Good job, Sushi. I mean, I guess by pitching he meant trying to rob Sushi. Nah, that's not cool. And also, I saw a tweet from Hayden Adams talking about how he was getting DM'd by Sushi token holders about Uniswap's all about VCs and how we're different. So we're basically getting mocked right now by the DeFi community, and I mean, it's rightfully so. Unfortunately, you can't blame them. So Amy was obviously a complete disaster. She said nothing about how they're at it. Just all talk. Don't worry, they have two more guys next. So the next guy was Paul. He considers himself an OG in the crypto game, even though he got into crypto in 2014. Yeah, definitely not an OG. He went on to explain that he's good at marketing, and he sits on the board of the top protocols in the space. And he wants to provide Sushi a lot of value. And dude, this is an interesting part. You mentioned that he bought some sushi off the market, like how it should be, but he referred to that as a trade, not a partnership. So I guess by partnership, he means that he has to get sushi tokens for 30% lower than everyone else. But don't worry. You mentioned that once he gets those tokens for a discounted price, he's going to be really hands-on. I kid you not. Like, I'll attach a link to this video. What I'm saying is basically what they said. You can hear it for yourself. Last but not least is a man named Franklin. He heard these two clowns like, yeah, I just heard a lot of BS. So he basically comes up, he's like, all right, I'm going to just jump to the good stuff. I was like, oh, this guy knows that the last two people that just spoke on Pantera's behalf said nothing but nonsense. So I was like, all right, this guy is actually going to say how he's got that how Pantera is going to add strategic value. So he mentioned that Pantera told investors early on that Bitcoin and Ethereum were a good investment. Okay, that was nice of you. And that they're going to teach investors about DeFi. So I guess school is in session. Then he went back to talking about how they're amazing at hiring people and HR stuff. Then he randomly talked about legal talent and how there's been apparently a huge decrease. That was basically it. So the guy that said, I'm going to jump to the good stuff, provided the same exact garbage. There was nothing good in what he said. And I'm about to give him the legal lesson of the day, which is when one files a petition/complaint, they must plead facts that meet the elements of a claim. My friends, Pantera failed to state a claim of how they will add strategic value. So in conclusion, Sushi's price is 70% below its all-time high. And now, OxMaki is proposing to sell Sushi tokens from the treasury to worthless VCs for a 20 to 30% discount. Do you know how terrible that looks? I believe one of the many values of Sushi is its brand, and we're throwing that away for what? So VCs can get a steal? This is embarrassing. I do not think anyone is factoring the brand applications of this proposal. Like, personally, I'm not against VCs, but I am against VCs getting a 20 to 30% discount, especially when prices are dirt cheap. The whole point of Sushi was the community and that everyone is treated exactly the same. This proposal is favoring VCs over the current Sushi token holders and prospective token holders. We are no longer a startup. We were able to establish the sushi protocol ourselves with this amazing community without VCs. Now OxMaki wants to give the fruits of our labor for basically nothing. So basically, we're partially rug pulling ourselves. But don't worry, there's a vesting schedule. I just have one thing to say to OxMaki. I hope you're not the next Chef Nomi.